We're recording. Hello, my little friend. Producer Jonathan here from the Podcast Factory, and it is time again for Ask Producer Jonathan. Good of you to be here. If you're here live, if you're watching the recording, sorry you missed it. But today we're going to just take some questions, and first priority is you guys who are here live. So whatever questions you have about building your brand, getting more leads, making sales, getting more downloads, any of that stuff, I want you to hit me with those questions. I have not practiced, so I'm doing this without a safety net. So if you stump me, even better, but I'm going to try not to let you do that. And for those of you who are not here live and you're watching the recording, sorry. I did bring some questions, though, that you guys sent in. So if the folks here live don't have enough questions to fill the 30 minutes that you and I have together, then I'll dive into some of those. But I'm thinking that you guys, I see Max is here. I see a couple other people here, some new friends, actually. Tina, hey, Tina. Max, what's up, guys? Some new friends here. But I'm going to tell you something. This Ask Producer Jonathan, I'm doing the second one because several people told me they liked it. So thank you guys for the feedback. Thank you for telling me how much you liked the first one. But I'm not sure I like it. And here's what I mean. So totally cool. Just want you to understand what I mean. I know a thing or two about podcasting, but I really would prefer to ask other people. So if I do this again, what I'm going to do is instead of Ask Producer Jonathan, I'm going to change it to Producer Jonathan Asks. And I'm going to get a pro or somebody I respect or one of my mentors on here. And I'm going to ask them questions because I like that format better. Maybe I'm lazy. I don't know. But it's just a thing where I find it valuable for me. I guess sharing everything I know with you is pretty valuable, though, right? So I see already some questions coming in. Tina, do you want to come on the air, or do you want to just drop them there in the chat? Just let me know. You can call in, and I can put you on. And of course, Max, I didn't think you were going to make it, but if you want to come on, you're always welcome on. So let's see. Tina's got the first question here. Grab a sip of water. All right. Oh, she's got several questions here. Thank you, Tina. So Tina says, hello. Hi. And let's see, several questions. Ways to monetize a podcast. Where it's a half hour max, but yeah. Ways to monetize a podcast. So maybe you can get a little more specific with that. Where to promote and distribute a podcast, how to grow your audience, and how to overcome the fear of failing. Oh, bunch of good stuff actually that I can work with one by one here. So it looks like Tina's just gonna put the questions in the chat. So I will just talk to you through the camera, Tina. All right. So ways to monetize a podcast. I wonder if I have a link to this. There is a ton of ways to monetize a podcast, and I'm going to go into my website here because I do have a resource for this somewhere. And then I'll just share 11 ways to monetize a podcast. How about that? So I got to log in. Got a brand new site up at the Podcast Factory. If you guys go there today, it's all flashy and fresh. I'm so proud of it, but it's still not completely working, so I haven't sent anybody to it yet. But let me check my media here because I know I have a piece of content that I created a while back on 11 ways, top 10 podcast recipes, license. Yes, the 11 insider secrets to make money podcasting. So I'm going to run down that. There's probably an opt-in somewhere where you guys can get this. I don't remember where I put it, but I'm just going to run through 11 ways to monetize your podcast. And the thing is, most podcasters aren't making money. That's what you should know. Most podcasters are broke. And if you talk to them, they're struggling to figure out how to make money. So this is a timely question because I'm on a crusade to do away with podcasters being broke. And that's actually why I put this report together. So thanks for the question, Tina. And let's run into this. All right, 11 insider secrets to make money podcasting the first way. And one of the ways that most people ignore, and I myself ignored this until my friend Ben Settle put the idea in my head. And I was like, are you sure? Will that work? And it did work. And it's transcripts. What? Transcripts? I don't even get those. That's how you know a podcaster doesn't know what they're doing. They don't get transcripts, okay? So the way we use transcripts is we offer a transcript for an opt-in. And when people opt in, they ask if they can get the back transcripts. And we offer a library card. Just simple, really low cost, and give them access to all the transcripts. Boom, making money with transcripts. Number 2. This is important. Number 2, you have to have an email list. All right. Your email list is actually where all your sales are going to get done. And Max and I talked about this on the last Ask Producer Jonathan, but he asked, what should I sell from my podcast? And what I say is the thing that you should be most focused on selling from your actual podcast show is your email list. Giving people a reason to opt in. And you're wondering, well, what? That's not going to make me any money. No, the opt-in itself, when they come to your list, that is not going to make you money right away. What that's going to do is open up the door for you to communicate with them. Open up the door for you to make offers, because people are listening to your show on the go. They're at the gym. They're in their car. They're riding their bike. They're not going to be able to buy your products when you announce them on the show. By the time they get home, they'll probably forget about them. So what you want to do is from your show, sell your email list, all right? Get people onto your email list. And from your email list, that's going to be where you make all the offers. That's going to be where you convert people. That is going to be your piggy bank. All right, let's see. And a lot of podcasters don't have email lists. I don't play that. All right. Another way to make money with your podcast, this is number 3, is a workshop. And like this right here that we're doing could easily be sold. And it could be just a few bucks, a little entry level. People call these entry level products and workshops, they're tripwires. I don't know who came up with it, and I'm not going to take credit, but I've heard people calling it a welcome mat, and I like that much better. And so a workshop like this where you're doing Q&A, or a workshop where you're solving one problem, that's something that you can sell. That's something that won't take you a lot of time to create, and that's something that could potentially have a ton of value. I wonder if I should go through all of these. Number 4. Okay, number 4. And actually, I was talking to my man, Jeremy I knew I was going to screw up his name. Jeremy Montoya. And he has a name for this. What is his name? Oh, he calls these content upgrades. I call them extended content. And so, for instance, if you have a show with a really cool expert or on a really great topic, and you're doing like I show you to do at the Podcast Factory, only a 20-minute show, then you can have extended content. Yeah, we did this interview. Yeah, we covered this much in 20 minutes. And there's even more. Go here to buy the rest. Sounds crazy, I know, but it works. Another way to use that same thing is to get likes and shares. So you have a long interview, you split it, you tell people to go to your site and use one of those share to get plugins to get them to share the page, and then they get the rest of the interview, or get them to opt in and they get the rest of the interview. Multiple different ways you can use that. So that covers 2 bases there. All right, another one that works really, really well is products. Sell products, right? What are products that you already have? I only work with people at the Podcast Factory that have products. So it's much easier for us to just say, we're going to promote this product. But if you're brand new, maybe you shouldn't be podcasting if you don't already have a or if you don't already have a product and you don't already have an email list. Those 2 things are much more important than having a podcast. Wonder if I should keep going. Let me go back to this screen and see if we're getting any feedback here. All right. Will there be a PDF of these? This is it. I don't know where the opt-in is, so pay close attention. I'm sure I have an opt-in for this somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Let's see what else we have. All right, so better secret number 6 to make money with your podcast. This is an old one, and I want to go over there and grab a book, but I'm not going to do that because it's rude to go off camera. But this is old school, really, really old school. I use this at my apartments. Works like gangbusters. I watch as they do this to my wife all the time. My little cupcake gets coupons in the mail, and she feels like she's got to use them, so she goes and spends money. But coupons, make a coupon for one of your products, offer it to your listeners, and it's a listener-only coupon. It's special for them, and it gives them a discount or a bonus or something. It'll help you sell products. All right, number 7. What do we have here? Yeah. So similar to the coupon is a listener special. And a listener special is an offer that's only for your listeners. Like I said, give them the coupon, or maybe it's another bonus, or it's something that just your listeners get. And I'm not saying that it's just the people who are listening to your podcast. It's the people who listen to your podcast and are on your podcast list. So something special just for them tunes into that affinity, and it makes them feel special. All right, number 8. This is a good one if you've been in business for a while. If you've been in the game for a while, like I've got so much content and so many products, I forget some of the stuff that I have built. And a great way to give some value to your list and be able to do it where it's not super expensive for them is to take one of your products that maybe is a little bit older, that maybe is off the market, that they might not see anywhere else. It might be a little bit dated, and give that to them for a very low cost. All right, $7. Get this whole product. It's a little dated, and play that up. It's a little dated, but the core information is great. Go ahead and buy it. This is special for you guys only. So off the market specials. Number 9. Haha, sponsorships. Not my favorite. I have to include that because people really, they get into this game thinking that sponsorships is the way to go. And you can get money with sponsors, but the advice I'm going to give you here might be different than what you've heard. Forget about sharing your number of downloads and audience size and all that stuff, and target sponsors who will really line up well with your audience. Sponsors that your audience can really dig, and especially sponsors whose products you use so you can really get behind them, and then pitch an offer to them where they can sponsor for 8, 12 shows at a time. Don't take a one show deal. Make sure that it's for a package of shows. Otherwise, they won't see the results. And that's the way I do sponsors, and that's the way you should do sponsors too. And I very rarely do sponsors, just so you guys know. Let's see. Any other questions here? All right. Let's keep moving. I didn't know I was going to get into this, but you put me on the spot. I always have something ready. All right. So another way to use your podcast to make money, number 10, is a product launch. And we've done this multiple times, and there's even a great variation of this that we use with on the Ben Settles show, where we do a longer show. All right, normally we do a 20-minute show and we air it on Sundays. What we do with the launch is we spread out. We do 4 shows. They're all about 20, 30 minutes each, so a longer piece of content, and every day is promoting a product. So that's a product launch. Along with that, we're sending 2 emails a day, and then on the last day, we're sending way more emails on the last day, and that's a product launch with your podcast to go ahead and make some dough. All right, one more. What else do we have here? This one, hit or miss. You got to make sure that you choose the right people to partner with. But if you get the right kind of person, this could be very, very lucrative. Ben and I did this using that Ben Settle Blitzkrieg method, which I just told you, the product launch method. We did a promo on a bigger item for Ken McCarthy. I think it was $1,000, and we ended up with something like $26 earnings per click. Totally unheard of in internet marketing. Yeah, we did that with our small little list and our podcast show. And what I'm talking about here is affiliate deals. So you got to make sure that when you get into an affiliate deal, number one, the product is good. Number two, you're working with someone reputable so that you get paid. That's my trouble with affiliate deals. I've had too many go bad where I don't get paid and I get pissed. But come on, being an affiliate for Ken McCarthy is an honor. We've done this for Brian Kurtz, and we'll do it again because when you have the right person, it's fun for you or for us, and it's also very helpful for your audience, and it works really great to put some cash in your bank account. There you go. 11 insider secrets to make money with your podcasting. Didn't even know we were going to get into that, but boom. Gotcha. All right. So, you can't stump me. Let me grab some coffee here. I'm not wired enough. Let me grab some coffee and keep going. All right. And Max, I want to hear from you, man. I know you got the Podcast Mogul newsletter. I want to know what you're doing with that thing. Let's see. So, okay, let's go back to Tina's questions. This is, you're smart, Tina, because my half-hour consulting is $500 an hour, and you're getting it here for free. Lucky you. All right. So let's see. What is her other question? Where to promote and distribute your podcast? 90% of what we do is through iTunes. Then we also have the website. We always put a player on the website, and then we usually go out to Stitcher so that people on Android can get it. But I prefer the Android users just go to my website and use my player there. But sometimes they don't like that, so I offer Stitcher. And a couple new things that I'm seeing is, number one, Google Play. They are starting to allow you to put podcasts up there. So we're experimenting with that to see how easy it is and see if it's worthwhile or boost our downloads. And the other thing that's brand new, I saw it in the news today or yesterday, but Amazon through Audible is starting to put out podcast type of content. Now, they're not accepting our podcasts yet, but they are putting some of their own content out there and testing the idea of short form, small content to complement their book content. So there goes some ideas for distribution. What else do we have? How to grow your audience. Oh, I've got so many ways. In fact, I'm doing an entire workshop today for Espresso with Dan Meredith's paid group on building their audience. Actually, it's right here. Here, this is how you build an audience. What do we call this? How to build a massive audience through podcasting. Let's see if you, that's how you do it. Okay. But there's a ton of different ways to do it. And the next Podcast Mogul newsletter is all about building your audience. That's at podcastmogul.com. But multiple ways. You can do JV partnerships. You can do pay-per-click. You can do workshops with other people. You can do interviews. It's just up to you how to get out there and do a little bit of audience jacking. Audience jacking? Look at the Podcast Mogul newsletter to find out what that is. All right. So how to grow your audience, how to overcome the fear of failing. Real simple. Tina wants to know how to overcome the fear of failing. And this is for all of you out there. Are you ready? Don't get emotionally tied to your results. That's it. Failure is just data. Keep on moving, learn, keep on moving, and improve. That's it. All right, so here we go. So, all right, we got all your questions. Killed that. Thank you, actually, Tina. I appreciate that. That was fun. So, Max, you want to come on, or do you want to just drop some stuff in the chat? We got to, Now, let's see if I can get this right. There he is.
All right. Cool. Wait, can you hear me?
I don't get an echo here because I forgot to put in headphones.
Yeah, I'm about to put mine in.
I should probably do the same thing. So here goes a faux pas.
No, I just ran in the door, so I'm glad I was able to make it. Yeah, no, I mean, as you know, big fan of what you do and how you do it. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I now own the Podcast Mogul, and I'm a member, and I can't wait for the successive issues because actually, I don't know where we're going to take this and how you're going to build from it, but the first edition is such that it talks about a lot of the things that I know I'm supposed to be doing in business, but I usually partner with other people to do it because, for instance, I hate target market research. I know it's essential, but like even I turn down more clients than I say yes to because I'm like, if you don't know your audience, I have to let you know I'm not willing to do the work for you to figure it out. Nice. So like right now, I'm actually looking for someone to partner with and say, hey, can you do this work when they say no to me? So that way I can still take them to that next level when they are ready. And yeah. So there's this interesting thing. I'm trying to think of how to talk about this so I don't give away your goodies. But in here, there is let's call it the Mac-proof way to do target market research that doesn't bog you down and get frustrated with the process. And it's so simple, and it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, duh, Max, you should have just been doing this in the first place. But you're specific about it enough that I can do it within the hour. And probably, and I haven't done it just yet, but when I do start doing it, I could easily see myself enjoying the process and building that momentum to want to do it more and possibly for clients. But again, I'd rather do it for myself than do it for clients. Yeah, this is beautiful. And that what I'm talking about there is just one thing that like jumped out at me the most. And the way it's set up, it's just several pages. You got 22 in this edition, which was more than I was expecting.
That's a double, by the way.
Yeah. So when you said double, I didn't know if it was going to be two at once or what have you. But yeah, so this first edition, if for whatever reason you don't get second and third, is probably all you really need. And not just for podcasting, but just business in general. And the way that I like to think about the work you and I do is if you learn these things well enough, you're just going to be a good human being in general. You're going to be more engaged with the people you connect with, which means they're going to be more invested in you.
Yeah. I'm glad you went through it and enjoyed it because I was hoping you would dig it. And that's the thing, right? I have to put positioning. So I have to say Podcast Mogul because it's not just another business newsletter, but there's principles in there for anything that you do. And that's how come people ask me, they're like, how are you really going to write a monthly newsletter on podcasting? Like, come on, is there that much to write about? And I'm like, well, I write 7 days a week, emails on podcasting. So a newsletter should be pretty simple, but I'm glad. So how's your newsletter coming?
So I went to the printer the other day. I learned all the details that you probably learned about, like that you have to, in terms of organizing it. So I kind of have to do this in a weird backwards way, but it's coming together. I've changed topics just a bit, but yeah, we'll see where I land in the next 4 days. I'm one of those people, once I have everything outlined, I can create like no other. I'm kind of a freak like that. But actually, I think we're probably both in that same case. Yeah, I'm just, the positioning part is what I'm working on, which is, I know I want to talk about email, but really email is the foundation because where I differ from like Andre and Ben is that I talk about what it is to connect with someone so that way they follow you for a lifetime. And really it's about leadership, and the principle is to build a celebrity of sorts. Nice. I'll just call it like a D-list celebrity.
D-list
package. I don't know what it is, but like if you want to be a D-list celebrity, because and you've said this on many of your shows, or maybe not you, but the people that you work with, that the people that do the most, that earn the most money for their ideas, and the people that they want to serve and are doing the most visibly are the people that are celebrities. So a Neil deGrasse Tyson can do more work in the field of science than like Dr. So-and-so because the prominence that he has versus anyone else that's probably doing better work or more important work. Unfortunately,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the way it is.
It's a celebrity. People want to be tied to that celebrity. So another question. So the last time we talked, you were considering a podcast, and have you moved that further down, or where's that at?
So even though I'm investing all this time and money in your work, it's not my priority. So that's kind of an anomaly. But I'm getting these ideas, and everything that you're giving me is just building blocks towards it. It's definitely going to happen in the next 90 days. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly it looks like. And now that I have Podcast Mogul, I'm understanding I can even focus my market a little bit deeper than the one I'm already serving via email, and see how I can either attract new people or a more specific pain point that they may have. So this is definitely helping me get there. But yeah, right now I'm more so focused on building this one newsletter system, which I think is really going to help me and my business and actually streamline everything I'm already doing. And then it can even be like an example for other people, because I think this model that you, Ben, and others are using, it really just, it changes the game and it makes business so much smoother. So that way, when I do go to podcasts, I can focus fully, or like 80%, 20% split on the podcast without bogging down my energy or what else I have planned.
So a couple things I have for you, and it looks like Tina might want to ask one more question. Let me lose this headphone. But
yeah, I tend to monopolize things.
Nah, what? Yeah. We did 20 minutes for Tina. No worries. So, okay, what I use to lay out my my newsletters is Sean D'Souza's Black Belt Presentations. So I
don't have that yet.
Black Belt Presentations. So if you can get that, and I'm not an affiliate, but I totally wholeheartedly believe in it. And for one specific reason is because of this piece of paper here came from him.
Oh, okay. So that's what that was about.
Yeah. So it's the 13 box system that he got from somebody else. But that's how I laid out my newsletters. And just go to thepodcastfactory.com BBP, because I made it easy to get to it. Like I said, I'm not an affiliate, but I sell this thing for him all the time. Black Belt Presentations, because I believe in it. And so that'll make it easier for any content you do. The other thing is the next Podcast Mogul newsletter is going to show you how to build your audience without even having a podcast. So you might not even need a show. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got that in store for you. And I appreciate you always looking out for me, Max, and filling some airwaves here with me and helping me out, brother. I appreciate it.
I think we both have that radio background. So my rule is no dead air ever.
Perfect, man. So let's see if Tina has one more question, then we'll wrap this thing up.
All right. I'll step out. Thank you again. Bye.
Later, buddy. All right. So one last question as we're wrapping up, trying to keep this at 30 minutes. Tina, let's see what Tina says. I have listened to tons of podcasts, and all the formats seem to be in the same style, interview style, and actually I want to move away from that and be different. Is that a stand? I don't think Tina knows the Podcast Factory yet, but Tina, we don't do a ton of interviews. I mean, some of my clients do, but our shows are expert shows. And so that's really, I've actually written some emails about thinking out loud in my email that the interview podcast is dead because so many people are doing it. So I'm totally into the idea of doing something different. In fact, it's necessary right now to do something different to stand out, or else you're just going to be another Me Too marketer. So she says she wants to mix it up like a magazine style with segments and stuff. Excellent idea. That's a great idea. You want to stand out. That's the way to do it. So this is it. We're wrapping up another Ask Producer Jonathan. I told you next time I do this, I'm going to be doing Producer Jonathan Asks and having some expert here or having some mentors here or something different. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you, Tina and Max, for keeping me company here. And thank you for watching this video if you're watching it later and spending time with us. And you can find out more about my work at thepodcastfactory.com. All right, now how do I stop this recording?